What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's happening with the economic calendar thus far, what's going on with some big earnings that just came out, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500 into the account, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks. And the offer ends very, very soon. It ends today in just 20 hours. Anyways, looking at SPY, we got this nice little breakout trying to hold above 507. We'll see how well it holds above this. If you hold above 507, continue to push, we're going to be expecting a lot more upside that's coming. And the same thing goes for the whole market. Why is the market pumping? That's because PCE came in aligned with expectations. Initial jobless claims was at 215,000, a little bit higher than expected, but still not too bad. But that wasn't really affecting us as much. Just wanted to note that what's more impactful is PCE data. Core PCE month over month was at 0.4%. That is aligned with expectations. Uh, PCE for all items month over month was 0.3%, aligning with expectations. Same thing with PCE year over year at 2.4%. That's aligning with expectations. And then finally, core PCE year over year was 2.8%, aligning with expectations. So this was just an okay report. It wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was just so-so. Everything aligning with expectations in the middle, and the market is still pumping despite that. So that's pretty interesting to see. We're going to be watching to see how well it holds. Watch for more volatility at 9:45 a.m. as we have the Chicago PMI coming out. That's 15 minutes after market open. Then we have Bostic and a couple of others giving speeches around 10:50 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then we have some more bill auctions coming out at 11:30, all minor data. Then we have Mester from the Fed giving a speech. So it's mainly just minor data and then some Fed speeches. We just had the Chicago PMI, but that's kind of like minor. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the day, and we'll see how things end up going. So far, the market's holding up quite nicely. We had some big earnings coming out. We had Celsius and then also Best Buy just announced their earnings. Looking at Celsius real quick, revenue was a beat at $347 million. Their EPS was 17 cents versus the expectation of 18 cents. So they actually missed by 6%. Everything else was okay. We actually saw a slight decline in their overall total revenue, which is not the best of signs. And that's part of the reason why we ended up seeing the share price kind of like drop a little bit. But year over year, it's still pretty good. So there's a slight decline in their revenue. The overall year did show some nice growth, but quarter over quarter wasn't the strongest. And it's part of why we ended up seeing this drop. We also saw their operating margins kind of decline just slightly. Nothing else was too crazy. The share price is down just a little bit because they did kind of miss on some metrics. And overall, we did see some declines in their overall growth. So with that being said, when it comes to Best Buy, they actually beat estimates, but they had not the strongest full year guidance. And despite that, the share price is still holding up. So, right here, revenue and earnings expectations were nice beats for Best Buy. For the fiscal year, Best Buy anticipates it will range from $41.3 billion to about $42.6 billion. That would be a drop in the most recently added fiscal year, which was actually about 43 billion. So it's a slight little drop, a 3% decline for the entire year as a whole. But despite that, they actually got a good beat on EPS and also on revenue. And overall, it's not looking too bad for them. And their sales were still showing more and more changes right over here. So we're going to be looking to see what happens with other projections. Guidance was not the strongest, but they still do pay dividends. And that's still something useful to investors. So because they beat on earnings, that's actually kind of like for now, it is offsetting the not so strong guidance. That's part of why Best Buy is doing well. Now, when it comes to other things, let me just note two things. We have very high puts to call ratios. We saw a big change yesterday. We have a 3.16 put to call ratio, almost a million puts expiring, both for Thursday and Friday, today and tomorrow. So this does incentivize market makers to hold the market up or even cause a mini short squeeze, which I think is still very, very possible. So for SPY, we're going to be watching to see how well it holds above 507. If you lose 507, there is going to be a risk of it returning back down to like 506.25. If we hold above 507, watch 508.5, then 510. If we break this, a new all-time high is coming, and we could be looking for like 510.5, and then 512.5, 513.5, and 515. Those could be targets if we continue to break out. We have to see it try to break 508.5. As long as we hold 507, I do see this pushing higher. So we'll see if we can try to hold above 507. And overall, it's still looking pretty good. For the triple Q, very similar to SPY, this is attempting to fill this gap up here. We're going to be watching 438 as resistance. We'll see if this breaks or not. If we fail to break, we could just range trade between 436 and 438. But if we break 438, there could be a push for 440 all over again, and this thing could try to make a new all-time high. The next target will be 442 if we break 440. So watch and see if we get a break or not. For Nvda, Nvidia is finally breaking out right here. I called this out yesterday. I said that I was thinking we would actually start a little bit low, then pump. Instead, we're actually pumping because the data came in all right. So now Nvidia is going to be approaching this resistance right here as we get close to 790. If we break this, you're going to be watching for a push for about 795, then 800 above that. If it breaks 800, 807 is coming next. Overall, Nvidia is favoring the bulls, looking quite bullish. Then we have Tesla, the notorious Tesla stock. Tesla has a nice cup and handle like formation. I think that Tesla's getting ready for a breakout. If we break 205, we have to break 205, then Tesla's going to be pushing for 212 by tomorrow, if not by early next week. I could see that happening. This is still resembling a cup and handle, still doing very, very well. Watch support at 212.5, 202.5, excuse me, and then 200. As of right now, it's favoring the bulls trying to push out. So I do think Tesla has potential to break out from here. The chart looks bullish. So let's see if we could break 205. If we get that break, expect this thing to push all the way up to 210 plus. I think Tesla could achieve that over the next couple of days. And then last but not least, we have the one and only Aapl stock. Now, Aapl started off on not the strongest of notes. It still is technically down here, but we're going to be watching to see if there's like some kind of symmetrical structure here. So is this like a double bottom, and are we going to start slowly uptrending just like from this move right here? Let's see if Apple could break 182.5. If we do break this, a bigger push could be coming to this yellow trend line. And if we break that, 185 is coming. Or if we turn bearish, you want to see it lose 180 and then eventually 178. But it looks to me like it could actually attempt to go a little higher. So watch and see if Apple gets to at least 182.5 or higher than that. All right, guys, so that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope this video was very, very insightful for a lot of people out there. Sometimes unexpected things could happen. I mean, my prediction was not correct about how I thought we might gap down and then pump instead of actually pumping from the get-go. So let's see how well the market holds up. Let's see how well Tesla, SPY, and the others hold their supports. Let's see if we can break resistance and start breaking out even more for another squeeze. Don't forget, we have very high puts to call ratios, a lot of shorts out there, and so we'll see how it goes. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. Tesla, the market, SPY, the QQQ to the moon because the long term is still very bright. And peace out.